Hello, we're Stark.
Well, welcome everybody for joining us this morning. So I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Debbie. I am an account manager here at Stark, and I primarily look after the public sector, hence why I'm on this call today. For those who know me, and I'm sure I can see so many of you do know me on the chat. I can see your names, so welcome. But those that don't, I have been in the energy industry over 30 years. And 28 of them was a local authority energy manager. So I absolutely get where all you guys are coming from, understand the headaches, the challenges that face energy managers or anybody in local authority who has to procure. And I'm joined today by my colleague Patrick, so I'll let him introduce himself.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining. Whilst I haven't been quite in your shoes as Debbie has, I've been working in the energy sector closely with local authorities and public sector for some 15 years now. Initially with an energy buying group, so very closely with local authorities. And over the past 12 years or so with Stark, working more on the energy data and metering side. More recently gone into a new role of head of frameworks, which we'll touch upon a little bit today. Back in working with Debbie and her colleagues in the public sector team, as well as others. Thank you for joining. Looking forward to going through some of this bit this afterwards. Okay.
So firstly, why we're here today? Well, obviously I know, and obviously we do know here at Stark, but I know especially the pressures that you guys are under. Budgets are tighter than ever. So we just want to be here to say that, let you know about the changes that are happening that will have an impact on every single meter that you have. And we just want to help you understand what is happening and show you the options. We're not here to obviously increase your workload. We're actually here to take it from you, and so fully support you and make you the choices. So let's get started.
Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, so just a bit of housekeeping beforehand. Intros we've got already. We've got Leanne, our lovely colleague, in the background, making this run for us all today. She'll be in the chat. I think she's already popped some bits in there. So if you've got any issues at all, if you can't hear, if you can't see any of the bits that I'm just going to mention, just drop something in there and Leanne will be able to help with you. Just a short presentation today, 20 minutes we've put in there, might be a bit less than that, just giving a bit more time for Q&A towards the end. We have had some questions beforehand, but don't worry if you've got questions that come to mind throughout, just pop them in and we'll try and tackle as many of those as possible towards the end. We've got some good features in this platform today, so please engage as much as you can, make it as interesting and insightful as we would like it to be for you as well. Okay. We've got the chat. Please drop in there, say hello to everyone. You've got peers in here, I'm sure, lots of colleagues that you may have worked with or met before. Pop yourself in there. Like I said, if you've got questions, you can put them in there. But there is also the questions section in there. It's a more anonymous area that'll go into there as well. There is polls. We're going to do a quick poll in a second to kick things off. If you could please join in with that, it's really helpful and helps us sort of understand where you are with things and what we want to cover on these sessions. There is a downloads link in there down at the bottom right or the bottom of your screen, and there's going to be some handouts in there that Leanne's got for you and some bookmark links towards the end as well. Okay. All right, so if we just kick off then, so like I said, down at the bottom right or bottom of your screen there's a poll bit. So we'd just like to quickly ask you all, where do you currently get your energy data from? Okay, so there's some options in there for you. Just have a look to see if we've got some answers on there. See if they come in. We've got a mixture in, we've got a few saying sort of a mix of both. We've got direct from your supplier, third party data provider as well. So yeah, good to see sort of, oh, interesting to see that there's a mixture in there. Okay, so hopefully we can help with some of that. All right. So over to Debbie.
Right, so let's get cracking. So I want to focus today on 3 points that obviously are going to have an impact on you. There is changes ahead of us, and they will definitely have an impact. It affects every single meter that you guys manage, but you do have choices. So we want to share what those choices are and just give you a bit more information. And thirdly, about the cost, what you can actually control, because we do know that is a key thing this day at the moment. So let's move on. So the first 3 major changes I just want to talk to you about is first one is market-wide half-hourly settlement, MHHS, as we all seem to be saying these days. Not sure how many are aware of it, but most of us should be, or it is going to impact you. It starts now. It's October. It is finally here, and it is happening. This is where 30 million meters will have to be, that are currently non-half hourly, will become half hourly settled. So this is a major impact. It's the I'll start again. I lost my teeth this morning. So what we're saying here, I mean, MHHS, it is the biggest, most fundamental change to the electricity industry since 1996. I don't know how many of you on this call were around for P272 and the impact that had, where measurement classes were changed. So this is just like that on steroids, really. It is really going to have a major impact on the way electricity is collected, delivered, and ultimately your billing. Also, what is included in this is unmetered supplies. What this is obviously your street lighting, your CCTVs. So this is included. So it's a major overall. You'll have to appoint a meter administrator. Start can certainly help in that because we do have a meter administrator, Tin Hookins Limited, and the way everything is calculated, it is major impact. There's new processes, new terminology, and certainly. And one of the other changes that is coming in is the settlement window. Now, this is how quickly energy usage gets to your bill. Now, currently, as we know, it's about 14 months, but the new changes that are coming in that will have an impact is data needs to be 99% accurate, and that data has to be collected within 5 to 7 working days. So we just want to sort of briefly show you that these changes are happening, and we want to obviously support you where we can in being prepared. So what do these changes mean to you? Well, as I've just alluded to, MHHS is here. It will have an impact on your costs and your operations. Every single meter is affected, whether that be the one that's sitting in that public toilet that's been boarded up for 20 odd years. That meter will have to be exchanged for to be enabled to be half hourly read and be collected. So what we're saying here is the importance of understanding your metering estate, being able to know, have you got meters? Do they need to be exchanged? What have you got that you are responsible for? Because as I said, every single meter in the country, domestic, commercial, will have to be migrated into half hourly world. So there's tight deadlines, and everything will be there. But again, I just want to reiterate, we are here to support. I will support you in understanding your estate and where we need to go, what choices you can make. Next, buddy.
Right.
So you do have options, and so just briefly want to just chat here about what a MOP is for those that are not aware. A MOP, your meter operator. And just to say here, the terminology that I'm using is what is now, but when MHS happens, this terminology is changing. But for the tense for today, we'll just describe it as it currently is. So a mop. So this is the person that installs your meter, looks after the meter, maintains and repairs it, and just ensures your meter records your data. You've got a DC, a data collector. This is where we retrieve that data, we validate, process it for the energy for settlement purposes. We send that data to your supplier and use it for billing and reporting. And I've just put on there about an MA, that is for your UMS. It is an MA obviously calculates your billing, provides accurate consumption data. Stark, and I want to say here, Stark is qualified in all the roles, 100% for every role that is in MHHS. So the new way of working, the new industry changes, Stark is now qualified to act. So we will continue to support and deliver the services that we currently deliver today, and we'll be there for you. And it's not just about accuracy, it's about working with you to manage efficiency. And we want to be able to provide you with that data and manage your metering estate for you.
Thank you, Debbie. Yeah, just to sort of tag on to the end of that is, as Debbie mentions, us being 100% across all aspects of this MHHS side of things, is that hopefully we can be a knowledge base for you on any aspect of it. Okay, this isn't a sales pitch for anyone on the call today. This is about helping out a little bit, because we do, like Debbie says, we do understand the pressures that you're under over the past number of years, but also with this storm coming as well. So please do reach out to us. That is a genuine offer to anyone on the call here. Okay, all right. So Debbie, on to this next one.
Yeah, as I said, you do have choices. You at the moment, you're probably aware, if you're not aware, half hourly settled, you have to appoint a data collector and a meter operator. Come MHS migration, everybody has to have a data collector and a meter operator, but you do have choices. You don't have to go via your supplier. There is separate providers out there. For example, the start, we obviously are a mop and a DC. So this is just to make you aware there is choices. You can sort of source things, source different providers. You're not tied in to thinking you have to go via your supplier.
Cool. Yeah, so some of that might have been very simple stuff that you're fully aware of, etc. But again, going back to it, through that process of change, what I'll just quickly cover here with some of my sort of background and my new role as well is that through those choices that Debbie mentions, I just want to highlight some of those choices for you. So right at the start of this, if you come to the conclusion or you've made a decision on what you want to do there with your metering estate in particular, we can support you through that procurement process as well, understanding local authorities, the red tape or the hoops that you have to jump through, rightly so. We can help with that. We're in a number of frameworks for our services, the big ones there in the public buying realm, but happy to cover some of that off later in the call and in some of the Q&A. We'll take you through those steps for you. Like, we don't understand every organisation's or authority's ins and outs of it, but we can help you through the sort of more broader process for you. Just touching as well on this kind of support network for you, because looking through some of the registrants actually and understanding some of our customer relationships already, is that Debbie mentioned about that lack of resource and that pressure and stretch on what your roles are at the moment. You might have, if you're lucky, one energy manager within your authority. You might be that person. You might actually be covering energy in a procurement capacity without an energy manager as well. So I just wanted to again highlight the fact that you have access to this additional support from your providers. Okay, with that from us, you'll get some enhanced reporting I can see one of the questions about sort of like metering types and everything like that. You get that through someone like ourselves. But also going back to it, all of these moving parts, you get this single point of contact through us as well. Okay. Talked a bit about costs here, and within this sort of like chaotic world that we all live in at the moment, it can feel a little bit like you're out of control. But through those choices that we mentioned, etc., you do have the ability to actually control some of those. Okay, so we're touching on here. So going back to this, like energy spend is probably 90%, if not more, of your concentration within your role. We're talking about the millions within the authority that you're spending on energy, whether that be power or gas. Okay, that's going to take most of your attention. But within that, and that can be impacted by lots of things, as we've seen over the last few years, and again going back to it, feels like you can't do anything about it. But actually, an integral part of your billing and your role will be metering services, where you do have that choice. You can choose the way that you procure it, who your provider is, and often how much. That might not in itself present as major savings and might not go up your agenda, but the impact of that reporting and the choices will directly impact the millions that I mentioned there that you're spending in your energy consumption as well. All right. Uh, Street lighting, UMS. This is something that I personally myself actually and have not been involved in an awful lot over the last 15 years, primarily because it's not a smart metering. There's no meter, but because of the nature of MHHS, it is getting swept up into that area. That is again something that you have some control over. You can choose that. There are significant savings that you can make, as well as the administrative savings of employing the correct metering administrator for you as well, and ultimately coming down to sort of like the data quality aspect as well for you. All right. How does this protect your budgets? It's going to be a lot of the questions that you're going to get. You have to go off and fight for these sorts of things, these functions internally. All about money at the moment, for everyone. So just highlighting some bits in here for you is that ultimately better data will help you find better funding. And so this isn't just about the savings that you might get from wastage, identifying wastage, etc. Conversations we've had, I'm sure Debbie and I definitely have had, is that a function over certainly the last 10 years that I've seen is that you are funding your funding applications, etc., has become a significant part of your role. I can pretty confidently say that you are going to be on a major back foot with funding applications if you do not have access to detailed, high quality data at sort of like the click of a button, as you would do if you're employing a third party provider such as Stark. Okay. Of course, it's going to have as well an impact on your procurement strategy. As an energy supplier, especially with MHHS coming in, and one of the questions in the chat again about sort of like metering estates and which ones are AMR, SMET, smart, or traditional dumb, is that they will look at that and they will go, oh, that's not a particularly nice looking portfolio. It's not going to enable me to procure energy the best possible way. That will impact the suppliers. It'll impact your energy broker or consultants that you most likely are employing, and yourselves ultimately as well. So really important part there. Time is money, that old adage. Having that single point of contact for all of your energy data services, especially now that the volume is increasing, is obviously going to be a really important part for you. And the other thing, Debbie mentions that MHHS has started today. Probably not for most of you, probably won't start impacting your day-to-day for a while, but it is going to start happening relatively soon for some of you. I would just say it's still not too late for this approach of that proactive versus reactive part. Okay, so we talk about choices. This isn't a scaremongering piece or anything like that. Like, it is just saying that you still have some control there. If you react late, you will start to feel like you're just being swept up in this wave. You're going to have suppliers that are going to be very busy and stressed. You're going to have consultants in a similar scenario, and then there's going to be yourself feeling a little bit out of control. Okay, so please reach out, start to take some steps now on the choices that we've highlighted for you. Okay.
So thanks, Paddy. So really, the key takeaways today is there is changes happening. We know that MHS is going to impact every single one of you. Every single local authority will be impacted, but it's not too late. I can obviously, if you share your portfolio with me, I will let you know the state of your estate, understand your metering estate, work with you and show you what you have there. And there is choices, as we've alluded to. You can obviously, I think an advantage I think you would have if you had the same meter and data provider. It just moving forward in MHS world, having somebody who is collecting your data, who is also responsible for making sure that meter is working, is a benefit, and it obviously shows there. And at the end of the day, it's putting you guys back in control. Obviously, there are costs. MHS is going to cost. There will be costs, but with having access to your data and having an understanding and knowing exactly what is happening with your metering estate, it's about putting you back in control, quality data, and certainly will support you with your procurement. We do have handouts that we think will be really useful to you. So reach out, just press the button and download. We're here to help and support you through this turmoil that is approaching us. As I say, most of you probably won't be impacted. It is dependent on your supplier, but we can start preparing now. Most of you probably looking at the middle of next year, but some of those it may be even sooner. But reach out and we can share that information with you.
Yeah, I think we will leave it at that. So thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's been helpful, and look forward to speaking with some of you soon. Okay.
Take care, everybody. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon.
Stark. Your energy is our world.